every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. See me worry, baby. It's you I hate to lose. Every day I have the blues.
Hello viewers, it's James Kalm, the guy on the bike, and we're on Great Jones Street in the area where Soho bumps up against the East Village and the Lower East Side, and we're gonna drop in and see an exhibition that's curated by Robert Storr. Quite an extensive exhibition here at Venus over Manhattan. Okay, sorry. We'll do our initial sweep here. This is a two-gallery show, so we'll stroll through this end and then go down the street. Well, we're going to start here with a piece by Jim Nutt titled Loot, 1988. This is 28 by 23 inches. Well, we've been looking at Jim's work for many years, one of the founding members of the Harry Hoot group. Is Jim still alive?
Yes.
Good, but he's got to be in his mid-80s, something like that. Oh, here is a series of drawings by the curator. This is Robert Storr. These are all party animals, 1 through 4. Ink on paper, 9 by 6 inches. Well, I know Robert. He lives about 3 or 4 blocks away from me in Brooklyn. And through the Brooklyn Rail, I've had a chance to have some interaction with him. And I've gone to some of his lectures and discussions on various shows. This is Deborah Carr's Emergency 2019. Acrylic and neon, 32 by 116. Well, we like Deborah's work. She's dealing with text and some other modernist things. Oh gosh, yeah, if you don't take the time to get up and really look at this, you would miss a lot of the subtle paint things that are going on here. And this is, I believe, is based on a constructivist piece. And maybe even Barnett Newman, Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue? Well, Robert did get some big paintings in the show. This is Judith Bernstein. Evil Has the Upper Hand, number 2. Trumpish logo 2023. Well, I've got an ironic little historical story I'll tell you. I actually remember when this space was called Werkstätte Gallery. A couple of young ladies were running it, and they had a conference of feminist artists and a show of feminist artists, and Judith was on the panel, and I was on the panel with her, and so we kind of yacked a little bit, and I guess I probably utzed her the wrong way at one point. I said, well, would you rather be considered an artist or a feminist artist? And she let me have it with that one. But, gosh, that's amazing. So, 15 years later, we're all still here. It's another big piece. Kichi Tadami, Fragment of Time, pigment ink, acrylic silkscreen, medium, crushed glass, glitter, acrylic paint on canvas. This is 80 by 118. Okay, I'm getting a little vibe of Murakami on this. So I'm just looking at this and thinking, yeah, you can sample a little bit, but this one, the samples, your plate is full. It's kind of nice the way it sparkles. This is Woody the Othello. Disbelief 2023, glazed ceramic. Okay, here's one by our old friend Dana Schutz. Excuse me. I think we might have seen this character in her show that's up over at David's Warner now. The Crab 2023 gouache on paper, 47 by 30. Maria Lansing, Prosthesion Selbstportrait. Well, I think Maria Lansing is a good example of an artist that was working, kept working. I believe she was German. I don't know if she was East German or West German. And, okay, so that's the prosthesis. Excuse me. Chibuka Uzoma, a painting with the future A. This is a painting with a future A. Also, these are 84 by 60. oil acrylic spray paint and text on canvas. Fairly used. Okay, I kind of like the black and vermilion add-ons there. It's like it was collaged in there, ripped masking tape maybe. Adjua Ajamu, Brains and Bile 2018, oil on linen 48 by 60. Okay, this is kind of a fun, surreal piece. Makes me think of the plastic barf things. And then we've also got like rubber masks that have been wrinkled up. Oh. Princess Leia logo figure. This is more Julia. Oh gosh. Whose face is that? Is that Donald Trump? Being Walked On 2022. This is 12 by 12. This is Jim Shaw. Silkscreen and acrylic on canvas, 48 by 75. I think Jim was one of the better known of the Los Angeles artists. Kind of a neo-Dadaist. And God, he had a great show of some works out of PS1. It was part of his thrift shop painting series, I believe. So he's getting his photos and kind of stretching them out in Photoshop and doing some high contrast silkscreen. Okay, this is a huge piece. Okay, so this is a huge piece. Carol Walker, Epic Fall 2020, mixed media on paper, ink wash, and graphite on paper. Oh gosh, they've even got a little barricade there to keep people from getting too close to this. Okay, it does say that there's some cut paper in there. I'm seeing she's collaged things in there. I think Kara is probably best known for her silhouette pieces that are done in installations, but this is kind of interesting to see that she's branching out into some new things. Let's see how big this is. Okay. 106 inches by 236 inches. So we're talking about 8.5 feet by, gosh, 14 feet. Peter Saul. Life is Tough, TUFF, 2023. This is 45 by 60. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Venus over Manhattan is now representing Peter. And I snuck in last month and ran through a show of his. It's always fun. I don't know how old Peter is these days. Still looks pretty good though. When I see him, he's running around. Anna Ben-Aurora. Your Good Girl's Gonna Go Bad, 2023. Soil on canvas. '88 by 72. Basically 8 by 6 feet. Oh, and here's a piece I was looking at when I first came in and was thinking that, gosh, that could be a Bob Thompson painting. Bob lived around the corner on the Bowery, I don't know, about 50 years ago. But it's not. This is an early Robert Colescott piece. It's 1968, and I think Robert was influenced by Bob. And, God, it's great to see some of the early work. It's acrylic on canvas, 78 by 59. Robert had a wonderful show at the New Museum. I've got a lot of video of it that I haven't put together because theoretically I was not supposed to be doing video, but that's never stopped me before. I just haven't had a chance to put it into the right context. Actually, I like the raggedness of the stretch job here. And God, even at this early phase of his career, he was quite a great paint handler and colorist. Okay, we're gonna go down the street and catch the rest of the show. Stay tuned. Oh, so, by the way, right next door is the former Jean-Michel Basquiat's studio. I made some deliveries there, some Utrecht paint to him about 40 years ago. Okay, so we'll take a look at the plaque that's on the building here. Jean-Michel Basquiat, da-da-da-da. Okay. The other guy on the bike. Part 2. Oh gosh, he's got some of my favorite artists in here. Well, time is passing. We better get to the job fast. So we'll start out here with S. Clay Wilson. Robert's got a lot of the underground comic people here. S. Clay Wilson is a classic. George Condo, Downright Politicians, 2023. Okay, this is interesting. This is oil, and on the last 2 or 3 big George Condo shows I've seen, he was working mostly in acrylic. So this is kind of nice, chunky. Okay, so we've got a little strip of photographs by John Waters. Ed Pachka. It's Nina, 1978. It's another of the Harry Who artists. Rob Williams. I think this is one of the other underground comic artists, but I believe he also was instrumental in starting Juxtapose magazine. Okay, there's a lot of stuff here. We aren't going to get to all of it. Robert Crumb. Art makes no apologies. I'm not here to be polite. This is from 1991. Got a whole bunch of classics. I know that Robert curated a Robert Crumb show. I believe it was at Daffod's Warner. It was fantastic. I was there online behind Nicole Eisenman. God, these are a couple of etchings burned out from 2005, but I bet that was based on something from the 60s. Oh, this is a beauty. Let's Eat. 1968. Some works by Art Spiegelman. Horse opera not with crocodile. Superman in the Blotosphere. Okay, that's nice. Or it's actually a pretty good watercolorist. Winged Nike has no beanie, 2023. Okay, so that's 8 1/4 by 11. Oh, and I've got some James Sienna pieces here. Some etchings. (2010). Ink on paper. You know, I don't think of works like this when I'm thinking of James Sienna's work. It's nice to see some of his things that he probably kept on the down low. The Madness in Me. The Me and the Madness. suite of pieces by Kim Jones, sometimes known as the Mudman. Raymond Pettibone. I think Raymond also might be represented by Venus over Manhattan here in New York. This is no title. Wake Up and. Another no title. Actually, I like Raymond's kind of clever use of collage and overlays, kind of chunky stuff. Okay, I've got to step back. I've been asked. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I got 4 pieces by Steve DiBenedetto. And yeah, Steve has got a cult following of chunky paint heads. A lot of fans like what he's doing. Okay, I believe that is Rosemary's Baby's Baby, 2021. They're all 29 by 24 or something like that. Pharmacological Slovaki 2021-23 oil and linen. Godhead Bowling Alley. Mental Reupholstery. Mark Thomas Gibson. Ink on Canvas, The Dinner Party. Okay, I was talking about people that I think might be using bleach. I wonder if that's what that is there. Mark Thomas Gibson, they keep coming back, 2023. Talia and ink collage on paper. Oh, here's one of my favorite artists, Mark Greenwald. This is titled Playground Dragon. Mark is one of the magic realists, hyper-realists in New York. And spent a lot of time making the paintings and didn't really start to get any serious attention until maybe 10 years ago. And since then he's I think achieved the reputation of being a modern master of realism. The thing I like is he can sort of play the cubistic face distorting thing against the almost Vermeer-esque detail. some of his drawings. He was also a very good friend of the late Chuck Close. So I think he probably uses these drawings to lay out his paintings from, so you can see how much time he spends designing the composition. Study for the American Dream #2, ink on vellum. Lamar Peterson. A woman with half a man. This is Paul McCarthy. A&E Bite-Face Dick. Santa Ana Session 2020. And I got a Carol Dunham. Untitled 2022. Watercolor, water-soluble creme, water-soluble pencil, and pencil on paper. Joyce Pinsato, the original Mickey. This is a big painting. This is 100 by 124 inches. I'm talking about 8.5 by 10 feet. I miss Joyce. If you're interested, you can go back in the files and see a video I did when she was gracious enough to invite me to come by her studio out in Williamsburg. This is actually, what does it say? 2018, so this is late Joyce. This is some of the work that she did after she started incorporating the metallic paint. And I think she passed away about 4 years ago. Okay, this is a funny piece. Elliot Arkin, Charlie Finch eating Mary Boone, cookie jar. (2002) aqua resin and acrylic paint. History is tragic, the art world is tragic. Charlie passed away, jumped out his window on 12th Street. Mary got popped for tax evasion and went up the river for about 18 months, I think, something like that. David Warnerovich, Untitled, Alien Mind. It's 1984. Again, a lot of tragedy. David was one of the people that passed away from age-related complications. Was running all over the East Village for several years. Didn't really get the kind of recognition that he deserved, and of course after you're dead for about 20 years, people can reassemble and recontextualize everything. Okay, that's another Ed Pashka. This is Sally Saul. Where were you, Mom and Dad? See, I wonder if Sally Saul is related to Peter Saul. That would make sense. And I like the color. Clay and glaze. Patricia Cronin, Aphrodite Genetrix 2023. Pigment resin coated photographs, face mounting of CP3 plexi, and painted wood base. Okay. So it looks like Patricia's collected a bunch of photos of various classic sculptures. Aphrodite's dainty fingers. $60 by $45. Asher Lifton, Cannibal 2023, acrylic ink, acrylic paint on linen. Okay, well, I'm looking at this and wondering if this was silkscreen or if it wasn't. Asher is spending a lot of time painting in his little dots. It makes me think of some of Sigmar Polk's dot paintings from the 60s. Yeah, that's a lot of dots. Okay, this is another John Waters. I think this is actually Edith Has a Fit. 8 sea prints. Each one is 11 by 14 inches. Okay, so that's our third or fourth Ed Pachka painting. This is Success 2002, 60 by 70. Okay, so I'm getting some categories of works that Robert's been showing. He's got a lot of the Harry Who people. He's got some underground comic people, some of the West Coast eccentrics. David Hurwitz, 2023, Untitled. I wonder if David Hurwitz is one of the psychedelic artists that took off and has been living in a commune somewhere in the Rockies for the last 20 years. Carl Worsam, Untitled, another Harry Who artist. Study of the Doggerel, 1966. More Carl. Okay, actually Carl is a pretty good drafts person. Always like the little notes. Gladys Nilsson, more Harry Who. I think Gladys is a fantastic artist, but I also think she might be one of the best watercolor artists out there. And Gladys is getting up there as well. Gamboiling. 16 by 12. Pink Peeper. Watercolor gouache and pencil, that's 10 by 14. But you can see her beautiful watercolor glazes. Downsplash 2022, watercolor gouache and pastel. I think we covered a show by Gladys maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, and they had maybe the biggest painting she'd ever done up to that point, which was, I don't know, maybe 6 by 7 feet or something like that. And I think in the Times they asked her about why she suddenly started doing the larger paintings. She said, look, I haven't got that much time left. I might as well put it all out there. It's good for you, Gladys. Errant Field. Okay, so you can see some of her pencil lines under there too. Okay, I don't see this listed. Let's see if we can read the name. Gary Painter. Oh, okay. Okay, this is a triptych by Louise Bourgeois, Triptych for the Red Room. Aquatint, dry point, and engraving. Okay, yeah, this is some beautiful etching. Okay, she's got some dry point in there too. I'm not sure, but I would think that each one of these sheets of paper is something like 27 by 42. So the plate is probably 18 by 24 or something like that. Going to be closing in a few minutes. Okay, all right, they're going to kick me out. So we're going to wrap up looking at this piece just in time. Martin Carsel's Boy 7, 2023. This is reused furniture, wood, glass, steel, fabric, candle, books, and sand. Okay. James Kalm reporting on Retinal Hysteria, curated by Robert Storr, here at Venus over Manhattan. You can like this, share, subscribe, link it up to all your social media sites, and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. And all we ask is that you say, thank you, Kate. Thanks, Adju.